Welcome to Foundation Friday. The dedication and covenant of silent unity was signed on December 7th, 1892 by Charles and Myrtle Fillmore, founders of the Unity movement. It is unlikely when they signed this covenant that they had any idea how far-reaching unity would be as it evolved into the church we know and love today. We invite you to join us as we explore and share some of the original ideas, teachings, and writings of the men and women who created the foundation of the Unity Church.
Hi, thank you so much for joining us today for our Foundation Friday program. Today we are looking at essay number 5 of Eric Butterworth, and the title is The Miracle Catalyst of Love. I'm going to share a little bit of this article with you. I hope you'll really enjoy it. There is a miracle of chemistry in which a substance called a catalyst is employed to accelerate an action or a reaction, causing changes to take place in an astounding way before the very eyes of the observer. A plant catalyst, for instance, can cause an unbelievable growth rate in plants. Could such a transformation take place in the human equation, in the affairs of men? We should believe in this, for life is a wholeness, a unity. That which is done in one area of life can also be done in other areas with an understanding of the fundamentals involved. Would it not be wonderful to discover a miracle catalyst that could stir minds and hearts to the instantaneous overcoming of hatred, or bitterness, or fear, or grief, or even self-pity? Well, there is such a catalyst, the catalyst of love, the miracle catalyst of love. Love will accelerate positive reactions in human experience beyond anything achieved in chemistry. In nothing is there more latent power. Nothing can be more readily touched off as a chain of reaction of continuing influence of love. Some years ago, there was published a story which has changed the thinking of many. Impressive, it was fiction, but there is often much truth in fiction, called 1 Hour to War. In it, the United Nations faces a crisis. A conflict among nations has eluded negotiations, and the world is just minutes away from an outbreak of nuclear war. One elderly member invited colleagues in the Security Council to the meditation room in the United Nations building. Out of respect for him, they came, tight-lipped and determined not to swerve from their positions. At his suggestion, they took places around the block of stone that forms the center of worship there, with neither inscription nor ornamentation on it, save a thin shaft of light falling over it. He began, "Gentlemen, the entire world knows that time is running out, and that it's no longer a question of which of you is right. There is obviously some right on both sides, and that is why it is so hard to reach a compromise, a solution. You have all insisted that you've tried everything, but have you tried loving each other?" This question hung in the air, simple yet enormous. He went on, "It is hard, and realization comes late for governments as well as individuals, but we must turn this ideal into a reality. As silence literally saying into the room, he said, "Please, each of you, do me the courtesy of resting his hand on this stone." As they slowly did this, he related, originally, an altar was a place of sacrifice. Is there any reason why it should not serve today for the sacrifice of self-justification, of arrogance, of pride, of greed, in order that love may flow through us all? Which of you will be the first to draw his hand away? While the future of the world hung in the balance, no one in the room moved. Finally, the man said, "I know you have much to do now, gentlemen. Thank you for coming here." At that moment, the miracle catalyst of love did its work. The crisis passed, and in the General Assembly, the delegate of one of the nations that had seemed to be at the brink of war rose and spoke on the future of his country and the future of the whole world. Well, this story certainly could be true. Such is the power of love. We have not even scratched the surface of possibilities of love in human relationships. There are no barriers to achievement with love, and we can never comprehend life without it. Love may be thought of as man's Aladdin lamp. Rub it, and you conjure up an inner power that is all powerful. Discount or reject it, and you remain insecure in a hostile world. In Paul's classic essay on love, he says, in effect, that with love, you are everything, and without love, you are nothing. Until man is awakened in spiritual maturity, he walks in darkness and has a pervasive sense of loneliness. Man's most crying need is to overcome his separateness, to leave the prison of aloneness. It was easier to meet this very need. It was to meet this very need that Jesus taught the importance of love. Mature love is the power which breaks through the walls that separate men from their fellow men, which unites men with God, with those around them. Oh, how we have misunderstood Jesus' teaching of love. We thought of it totally on the human level and considered it as something one could do very little about. Either it happened or it didn't. One could fall in love as if by accident, and occasionally, unpredictably, one could find a friend to love. We have thought of love as approving one who is lovable, but only as long as he remains that way. John, the only biblical writer who dares define God, says, "And we know and have believed the love which God hath in us. God is love, and he that abideth in love abideth in God, and God abideth in him." To the extent that we let this divine activity hold sway in us, we become a portion of the divine heart of God. I hope you've enjoyed this reading of The Miracle Catalyst of Love, essay number 5 by Eric Butterworth. We so appreciate you joining us for this video. But before we go, I want you to know that you matter. You are sacred, and you are so, so very loved. Namaste.
Thank you for joining us, and let's stay connected and grow in spirit. We are on Facebook. Search for Unity Church of El Cajon and follow us and like our posts. You can reach us on YouTube at Unity Church of El Cajon. Please subscribe to our channel, watch our videos, and leave comments which can help us improve. We are on the web at unityofelcajon.org. Email or call our church office to receive our weekly newsletters, which lists all of our activities and opportunities to learn and grow together.